Welcome, everybody, back to the Unemployable podcast. I'm Jeff Dudan. If you grew up as a self-described 98-pound weakling who struggled with a speech impediment, who discovered his enthusiasm for fitness in college, if you moved to LA in 1980 to pursue acting and did anything to put food on the table, including stand-up comedy, being a mime, and the occasional Chippendale dance, if you started personal training to the stars, including Springsteen, Usher, Tom Petty, Billy Idol, which ultimately led to your breakout product, P90X, which sold nearly 5 million copies worldwide, and if today you are a world-class speaker, author, and fitness innovator, your name could only be the incredible Tony Horton. Welcome, Tony.
Welcome to me. Yes, Jeff. Hello. Thank you for that intro.
Now, chat wasn't sure if it was 5 million copies or 3 million copies.
No,
so
I heard as much as 11.
I rounded up.
I've heard as much as 11.
11?
Yeah, 11 million. It's a lot.
Well, that's the problem with misinformation on chat and things like that
It
today.
shortchanged me several million. I don't know. I'm very obsessed about that, dude.
Sorry.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry.
But all right. All right. Yeah.
We'll make it up.
When you're selling half-inch tapes and DVDs and then it all goes to streaming, 9 years ago, who knows? People are still, anywhere I go, it's just crazy. The thing is 20 years old, and there's a kid on a Facebook group called P90X Never Dies. And he announced his 5,000th P90X workout, which is pretty. And there's a picture of him. He's jacked. I would think so after 5,000 attempts. Yeah, he looked really good.
Did P90X make the transition to streaming? Because when I stopped doing it, which I did it for at least 10 years straight, it was on DVDs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Beachbody, or I should say, formerly Beachbody, now Body, BODI. They have a. It's all streaming now. We don't sell DVDs. I'm not with them anymore. Yeah. So, and it's still going strong. It's still in their top workouts, even though they have all kinds of new ones. There's no media for it. They're not advertising it or anything. But the thing that worked, if you're going to work out 6 days a week for 90 days, doing all kinds of different stuff, and you eat right, that's just the formula. There's other pieces to that pie, but that's the main formula.
It was perfectly constructed, and I never really deconstructed it until I thought about having this conversation with you. But back in buys, each workout was doable. There was a warm up. It was strategic. There was a cool down. The ab and the core was great. The yoga I only did twice because I thought I was going to have a stroke. So I did not want to have the stroke. But yoga's hard. That was
on purpose. To me, it's hard. It's hard on purpose. Hard works. Easy doesn't work. Hard.
Yeah, I know. But the others,
you didn't have to do the full 90 minutes. You could have cut out at 45 and still got a lot out of it.
Yeah, but when you have to modify a yoga position, it's really pathetic.
Well,
you're basically just on all fours.
Well, the more you do, the better you get, right? So the first time I went to a yoga class, I only went because there was a pretty girl that invited me to go.
That's
why we do everything. I thought this was going to be a waste of my time. I could be going for a nice, 5-mile run or something. And I'm in down dog. Don't even know what the heck that is. And mine didn't look like a down dog. It looked like a man in trouble. And it was, and I go, wow, this is hard. And I'm not as flexible as I thought I was. So I just kept going. Never hooked up with the girl, but whatever. I just kept going and going and going. And I was awful forever until I wasn't, and then, and I do it every week, and I haven't missed a week in decades,
That's incredible. Do you meditate? Just
I do mindfulness breathing. I tried meditation. I read John Kabat-Zinn's book, Full Catastrophe Living, and when I was sick in 2017 to kind of get me out of the rut that I was in, and I got into box breathing and 4-7-8 breathing and different, and a lot of breath holds. I do a lot of breath holds and stuff like that, and that seems to brings my blood pressure down, kind of brings me in the moment. Gives me, it's sort of a combination of relaxing me and giving me energy, if and when I can't work out. Yoga is a 10-minute yoga salutation is sort of my way to do 4 things at once as opposed to one,
Right.
Yeah.
Opening question. How did COVID change the fitness industry?
I think it altered it temporarily And then it went right back to its screwy self, you know? I mean, what I did during COVID was, you know, I mean, I just did free workouts online. I couldn't have my buddies over anymore.
Right.
My routines didn't change. I ended up, I became more creative. I added animal flow and different kind of cardio circuits and hill sprints and things. That was the way, you know, because I was isolated like everybody else. But this industry, it's not easy for this industry to change. It doesn't really want to change. You know, I mean, look at Ozempic and Wegovy and all this kind of crap that's flying around now. You know, who knows what kind of issues people are going to have down the road. I mean, every quick fix has had a bad outcome down long term. What I think it did, if it did anything positive, it forced a lot of people to do what I did, to try kind of new stuff. You know what I mean? Sort of, experiment a little bit and get out of their comfort zones more, that kind of thing. But in general, it's still a lot of people are still stuck in that tilt-a-wheel of weightlifting and cardio and weightlifting and cardio and weightlifting and cardio. And that's certainly better than staying at home and smoking cigarettes and drinking scotch, you know. But like I focus more on bounding and balance and jumping and mobility and speed. That's why I've added the hill sprints to my routine. Just go run fast. I mean, I have some article in the New York Times. 80% of Americans over the age of 30 will never run fast again. I went, I'm not running fast again. I'm going for long runs, which is great. You know, good cardiovascular improvement there. So the hill sprints, I mean, I pulled my hamstrings like 5 or 6 times. So like, I guess I'm not prepared to go that fast yet. I got to slow down a little bit before I can go fast. You know, be the tortoise, not the hare.
Yeah.
And so I was a tortoise runner. I mean, I was running faster than normal, but now, man, I mean, it's just fun to go. And so, you know, I mean, did it have an effect? It did temporarily. And then everybody just kind of fell back into their ruts. And here's the thing is like a lot of trainers are stuck in their sort of myopic ways. They're just doing martial arts. They're just doing yoga. They're just doing Pilates. They're just doing bodybuilding. You know, that's what I see a lot of programs out there. And P90X was the first one that gave you just about everything. And that's the reason why it worked. We called it muscle confusion, which is a made-up term, because Billy Idol, when I trained Billy, used to call me Muscle Confucius because, you know, Billy was funny. He was a funny guy. And so we that kind of stuck. And not, you know, now I climb ropes and I have a pegboard and, you know, I will sit in bed at night and go, what brand new crazy, I'm going to stack 2 Bosu balls, flat side down, flat side up. So it's like, you know, that. And then I'm going to put my feet in a stability ball and do push-ups. Because that's hard as snot. And there's a big old learning curve for that. But, you know, I mean, you got primary, secondary, tertiary, and beyond the parts that get used there. And that's what I like, you know. I like doing things that most youngsters, I mean, I'm more fit now. This is the longest answer you ever got in your life, Jeff. But I'm fitter in a lot of ways now than I was in my 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s. Because I do really hard shit. You know?
Yeah, me too. You're born in 58. I was born in 68, so I don't do math well, but that's 10 years. So I'm 57. As I sit here today, I'm 57, and I am in the best shape that I have been in since probably 25 years old.
Yes.
And so I was a musclehead football player, lifting heavy, and then maybe 15. I guess my son was probably. I think he was probably around 10 or 12, maybe 12, 13. So maybe 15, 18 years ago, we were on vacation and I was, you know, still lifting heavy and I got in a Smith machine backwards and I had 3 plates on. So 315 on the bar. And that's kind of cheating because the Smith machine helps you. So it was probably more like 250.
A little bit. Yeah. You don't have to worry about
it. It was probably like 250, 260 or whatever, but it came up in on me. And I felt my pec rip off of my chest and it just disconnected. And that's a typical Army injury. These guys are in their 40s and they're lifting heavy things and they'll rip their pec off. And it's actually not a painful injury at all because there's no nerves in it. They just have to kind of go wrap it around a bar and screw it back on.
Same thing with my right biceps tendon.
Ripped the bicep off?
Tore it right off. And it just felt like a thud. Like,
and then and then I had like a sleeve of blood at the beach. It was kind of cool. But so after that, I said, well, I'm not going to lift heavy anymore. I'm getting older. I don't need this. I was in my mid 40s. And that's when I found your workout. And the beautiful thing about P90X is that it was so much body weight. There was modifications for everything. It wasn't, and I was doing it alone. I went up on the top of our barn. I made a little area. I put a big tube TV there and I put the VCR on top of it. and I was out there by myself. So look, I could push myself or take it easy, but like I was never going to injure myself doing P90X. And
if you were doing it right. Yeah.
If you were doing it right.
Apparently you were. A lot of people did hurt themselves because they were pushing the envelope when they shouldn't have been.
Yeah. And it was a few bands, and it was some twisty dumbbells and maybe the slides, and like that was it. So it was for me it was and then I could choose what I wanted to work on, and it was just really a perfectly put together sequence for people that didn't want to injure themselves, and like you said, do hard things. Some of the movements were hard, and a lot of it was body weight, and it was full body stuff. So, it's more the adult nature of working out. It's for full body health. It's going to help with your longevity. It's going to help with your flexibility and all of the things that we find out now are really important to living a long, healthy life.
Yeah. I mean, we were thinking way outside of the box. I remember when we were in early development, there was a program that I did prior to that called Power 90, and it's kind of P90X light. And we sold like 2 or 3 million copies of those. I don't know where we are on that one anymore, but we were kind of in discussions about, well, should we kind of back off, because it was 6 days a week and push-ups and bicep curls and squats and lunges and ab stuff and the usual, and cardio and a little bit of martial arts in that one as well. And we had, no, I mean, the CEO at the time still is, Carl Deichler, said, like, what do you do with Bruce and Tom and Billy and everybody? I go, yeah, man, I make them do everything, because, their management people are up my butt about, making sure they get results. So I just threw the kitchen sink at them. We're going to jump rope for a half hour today. We're going to hit the heavy bag today. We're going to do a cardio, 3 minutes on all your cardio machines and go around and then go in reverse. We're just going to lift heavy. We're going to do, 6 reps only on everything. Oh, we're going to do 20 reps on everything. Whatever. I just figured if I kept them on their toes. I was always trying to avoid the boredom and the injuries and the plateaus that come from repetitive movements. And everybody gets into the routine and they get pretty good at it, and then they don't want to get outside of their comfort zone. I mean, I've had the Power Nation now for 5 years, and it's like pulling teeth to get people to stop doing P90X that has 12 workouts, which is great, but they've done it 15,000 times. One guy, 5,000 times. And then the Power 4 has 25 workouts. Like, if you're into the muscle confusion thing, I'm doubling the confusion. Yeah, but I like my Congdon curls. I like my Groucho walks. Okay, whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, look, but here's the funny thing is I've got this new group on Facebook, and they're all kind of gravitating from P90X to the Power 4, another program we have called Power Sync 60, which is for women and their hormonal stuff that they're dealing with. So yeah, I mean, change is hard, but when I was younger, didn't want to do anything new. Didn't want to be bad at stuff. Didn't want to be embarrassed. Now I can't wait to suck, because that's where the growth comes, right? So yeah.
What was the decision like to move to LA back in 1980?
Oh, dude, what a question.
Was it popular with your family?
Not. No, what are you doing? I'm from Rhode Island, Connecticut. You know what I mean? A lot of folks in New England, they don't want to move to another part of the country because they're familiar with that whole, that's the way they are up there, drinking their Narragansett beers. So yeah, I mean, I was 6 credits short from graduating at URI, University of Rhode Island. And senior year, all my friends were graduating and moving off into the world. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I waited tables forever. So I was going to go up to Boston and wait tables. I've had an interview with a restaurant up there. I mean, like, not the best. And then my buddy from high school, who became my best man years ago, called me up. He goes, I'm going to Cali. My sister lives in Huntington Beach. You want to come? And I think about 1/4 of a second passed between him asking that question and me going, I'm in, let's go. So I threw 2 suitcases in there and my stereo without my speakers, because they didn't fit in the car. So I thought my parents would ship them to me. And I assumed, and they assumed, and the family assumed that I'd be back in the fall. I'd be back and I'd finish my 6 credits. But I was having such a blast out here, man. I mean, the culture out here was the antithesis of anything I'd ever experienced in my life. You know what I mean? And in the 80s was a cool time to be here, because the music scene, like all the different kinds of, the Cure and the Police and We were so into it, Spandau Ballet. Google that one. If you know that, they had like a one-hit one. Chumbawamba, unbelievable. Anyway, The Cure and Depeche Mode and all of it. And we were just in clubs every weekend, and we didn't have any money, so we would go to these buffets. We'd buy a beer, and then we would just stuff shrimp and food into our pants and walk out, and that was our meal. It was crazy, man. But yeah, it was.
Did you make a living?
Well, I was a street performer. I was a mime. That was sort of my main way. And Bob's sister's boyfriend was a big real estate mogul, and so we would paint houses. We found a picnic bench in the backyard of one of these houses we were painting, riddled with termites. And I was a bit of a handyman, so I had a wrench and I had a saw and a hammer. I had a few things. We put that was our dining room table. And so I just lacquered all the termites into the thing, like layer after layer. We'd have people over and they'd go, there are insects inside of your table. And, whatever, truth be told, we go to a restaurant. We didn't have any silverware. So we would walk out of a restaurant with a fork and a knife or a spoon, just so we would have them.
Yeah.
But
you never, when you're in that phase of life, you never buy
sugar,
sweetener, salt. No.
Yeah, you just five-finger situation. But yeah, I was a go-go dancer at Chippendales for a summer. I was a handyman. The mime thing. I was part of this group that would go out to Vegas, and we would do these crazy street performance in Vegas. We put on lab coats and hang out CDs. It's just any way you could make a buck, man. But when it really got rough, and it did often, I'd have to put the makeup on and put the suit on with the vest and take my hat and put it on the ground and go down either to Westwood, we're near UCLA with a lot of students, and they would, college. I stopped doing that because they would just, steal my money out of my hat. But down at the Santa Monica Pier, my goal was if I saw $25 in the hat, I was good to go for like almost a week. I could live on, and I'd go to the corner liquor store and I'd buy some yogurt, some vanilla yogurt, Dannon yogurt, and some Cheerios, and I would live on yogurt and Cheerios 3 meals a day, man. And it was just, I'm in California, I'm having a blast. And then I did retail too. I was an assistant manager at the men's Oak Tree store, and then I worked at another men's clothing store. And yeah, I could sell pants like nobody. Yeah, I was good at that.
Did you do traditional auditions for parts as an actor?
Oh, yeah. That came like year 2. I was in survival mode. And, then I finally, getting an agent in this town without being in the Screen Actors Guild is close to impossible. So, you're just kind of, looking around, trying to figure stuff out. You're going to open calls, which were brutal. You know what I mean? You just get the trades and you open up and, there's I did some extra work, which is the most awful stuff in the world. But eventually I got an agent, and I got a Lowenbrau beer commercial.
Oh, and I remember that beer. That was a great beer, by the way.
Yeah. What happened to that beer, man?
I don't know. It was so good.
Yeah. And so that's how I got my SAG card. And then I was in a couple movies with Schwarzenegger, So Microscopic. I was in Last Action Hero.
Okay.
I played Officer Walschläger, and there's a couple scenes in there. And then I was in just little parts and a couple commercials, handful of commercials. But for me, I had no control there. I just didn't have any control over that. I'm just waiting for the phone to ring, for my agent to send me to the other side of town at some ungodly hour of the day, and sitting in traffic with my Thomas's guide in my lap, trying to figure out where I was going. I'm driving, and there's no. This was another 25 years away, man. And just like a big thing with, okay. And then you have to change pages because you're going down Ventura Boulevard trying to get to wherever the 405. Sound like that SNL sketch, The Californians.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
what are you doing?
I'm going to take 101 to the 405 and get on 5, get off at Ventura and get on, Abbott Kinney, and then drive down on 5th Street. That's just what it was. The street, this is like a crazy, this is California. LA. But but for me, it was stand-up comedy. I had a buddy of mine just said, "Hey man, you're funny. Let's go to open mic nights." And because I was a mime, I would do traditional jokes, and I would sit with him. We do these skull sessions, these brainstorming sessions with about 5 different comics. And we would go, okay, what's the setup? I even went to an 8-week comedy class to figure out the formula of comedy. I was silly and I could tell stories and whatever, but there was a formula to get the laugh. So usually it's about a max 30-second thing between the setup act out if you were a physical comic, which I was. And then there was the punchline and then the tag at the end. And then you could do multiple tags to get more laughs after the punchline. And we would sit around and go, okay, what's the punchline for that? Spatula. No, bulldozer. No, jockstrap. Jockstrap's the funny, right? And then what's the tag after that? You know what I mean? Like pantyhose, gym socks, it's just what we did. I finished my bit with an kind of a NC-17/X-rated menage a trois mime routine with 9-inch nails cranked in. Yeah. Which I don't even think I could do without getting arrested anymore. I mean, it was really, right. But I mean, I didn't get a lot of laughs, but I got a lot of gobsmacking in the audience. There'd be a lot of this. I'd be here.
All right. Well, we hope this is the end.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it was, it was outrageous. I was outrageous and fun and silly. And I did that for 2 years, and that thickened my skin.
Right.
And then I got a good gig with Nordic Track. They're out of Minneapolis. A friend of mine set me up because he worked for them. He actually worked for Prince because, he was a Minnesota guy. And I went back and forth from LA to Minnesota several times. And, you're walking and talking and chewing gum and reading a teleprompter and all that. And that was just another level of education. The comedy was a level of education. The Nordic Track gig was a level of education. And then I worked for the Playboy channel for 2 years. I was a host on a show called Playboy 360. And that was my first, I started getting recognized from that, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Okay.
It was like an Entertainment Tonight kind of a show. It was me and a co-host. It was Tracy Tweed, who was Shannon Tweed's sister. They were both playmates, and 3-camera show. Red light would come on. I'd start on that camera and I'd turn to her and I go to the second camera and then the first day I had like 23 takes because I wasn't camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, co-host, I mean, like, whoa, red lights are flying around. I mean, I thought they'd fire me the first day, but.
Was that a scripted show?
Well, it was a prompter. And then everything between she and I was improv. You know what I mean? Yeah, this wasn't scripted, she and I, but the teleprompters were, hey, everybody, Tony Horton here. I'm hanging out with Tracy. You know what? Here's the fun thing. I'm going to show you some boobies. Because it's the Playboy channel. And that's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean,
we're also going to talk about politics. We're also going to talk about sports.
Yeah. Well, you can only go so long between boob takes.
Yeah.
On the Playboy channel.
We were trying to make a legitimate thing. And it was hugely popular. And I did 2 seasons with Tracy, and then she got let go, or she quit or something. And I had another co-host for a bit, but it was great, man. I mean, that in a studio, showing up. And then in the second or third year, we were doing these funny comedy bits. We're going to the LA Zoo. We crashed a car through a fake wall. We did some really, I did Tony Sings the Oldies. I can't sing. But when and they had and I'm trying to sing these songs, and I was horrible, and that was why it was funny. But yeah, man, those were the early days. And then I met Carl Deichler through a friend, and I started training the guy, and he was a young entrepreneur out of Philly, and he was working for an infomercial company called Guthy Renker, probably the biggest one at the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Did they do the ShamWow? Did they do the?
No, they did that
cooking stuff?
that Zit Cream, which was kind of took them over the top. I forgot what that was.
Okay.
And then he went to his boss and said, hey, Tony's funny, and I want to do fitness because that's where my wheelhouse. And we did something called Great Body Guaranteed, and it was kind of stiff still. I wasn't we didn't know that I could just be a goofball and do it. Hi, everybody. I'm Tony, and this is Sarah, and Sarah and I are going to show you how to. Right. And that's just what it is. But it made money and people liked it because the workouts were solid. And then with Power 90, a little bit more of my personality came out. And then, doing stand up I was with Second City LA, doing improv at a theater in Santa Monica, California. So I was getting really comfortable in front of a camera, in front of an audience. And so when it came to shooting P90X, I turned to the director and Carl and others, and I said, how far can I go? And they'll go as far as you want, and if you go too far, we'll cut. And so I was just like, F it, man. Let's just backing up like a pterodactyl. Don't smash your face. But that's not P90X. I don't know what it was. Just stuff came out of my mouth, and nobody said cut, and I just kept going. And
it was the best part of it. It was the best part of it. I do that up there with my wife or my kids. My young kids would come up there and they'd say, we're going to come work out. And you would be doing the stuff. And I would like, when you would, because I had done it so many times, when you would say something, I'd be like, and here we go, or whatever it is. And they would be, my wife would be like, he'd be like, I would be like, he's so cheesy. And I'm like, don't leave Tony alone. He's, you're my guy up there. But yeah, I mean, it was
same level of cheese still, man. Still cheesy.
Yeah.
So
you're the best part of it. Hands down.
And the set was good, and the music was good, and the workouts were solid, and the relationship with the cast members were great. And we mic'd them all. They weren't just robots who were doing everything perfect behind me. They were struggling and busting ass too. You know what I mean? It felt real. I mean, everybody would always say, I felt like I was hanging out with friends. Like I was being entertained while I'm getting my ass handed to me. And I'm the same thing here when I, 6 days a week, I'm doing plyo with, I don't know how many people are going to show up tonight. We might have to do it. We usually do it outside if there's a big group. And we're just having fun and being silly and telling stories and jokes and whatnot. And talking about our week in between doing, plyometric lunges for 40 reps. Yeah.
How did you recruit they were real athletes on that show. How did you recruit or audition for the people that were on the show with you?
We had maybe 5 ringers that we brought in that were athletic. And when we went through auditions, I mean, a lot of bodybuilders were showing up and different kind of, cardio queens were showing up, and they weren't versified enough. They had like just their niche that they were okay at.
Yeah.
And the vast majority were, Scott Pfeiffer was a friend. Bobby Stevenson was a friend. Eric Stolhansky became a friend. I mean, he was just a guy that pulled a little tag off a flyer at a gym. But the majority of those people were in the test groups. People who had been working out with me either in the morning or at night, not only for 90 days, but we extended that test group for like 150 days as we were preparing for production and shooting the whole thing. And so, there was a familiarity there with those test group folks, unlike with people we were trying to hire, you know what I mean? Like, core synergistics, they'd never saw that before. In Kempo, we used Wesley Idol. He and I kind of created that routine together because he was a 3-level black belt Kempo guy.
Right.
And that was hard for me because I wasn't a martial arts guy, so it took me some time. But yeah, we didn't. A lot of people failed the auditions, and a couple, like a handful rose to the top because they had some variety in their fitness before they met me.
Yeah, you gave them credit. You called them by name, and now that you mentioned it, I remembered the karate one, which was so good. That guy was, whatever his name was, like he was talented, and he was clearly talented. So you had somebody that was really talented that knew what they were doing. You had that you were emceeing it and you were jumping in and out of the routines, and then you had some beginners.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody felt like, you could look at the person that you were competing with, and there was somebody for everybody, which was smart.
Is still how I do it to today.
Yeah.
I'm working on a program. I don't know if I want to mention the name. They'll steal it because it's so good. But I'm working on a program, a new one for people who are sort of in my age group, right? I mean, I'm 67. We'll probably have people from 50 up. And that we're really excited about that because it's a demographic that's been just left behind. And I see a lot of my peers from high school and college, and they're sort of done. It's like, ugh. Like I can't get anybody to ski with me anymore. You know what I mean? Everybody I ski with, they're in their 30s and 40s and some in their 50s. But yeah, the wheels are falling off on folks.
Do you still have all your original joints?
Absolutely. I mean, I shattered my kneecap. I tore my biceps tendon. I had not a compound fracture, but near compound on my left tib fib. Several concussions, broken noses, cranked ankles. But everything is mine, baby. Everything is still mine. Because of the yoga, because that variety prevents injuries, joint injuries, because everybody else is same thing, over and over. Their ego's involved, so they're trying to lift like they're back in high school, and you got to know when to back off. I mean, Animal Flow has been an absolute dream for me because it's just really that, and yoga, of course, has been amazing for me so far. And you'd think my knees would be shot by now with all the plyo and all the skiing and everything else. But here's the crazy thing is, I mean, inflammation is everywhere, whether it's in your organs or your joints or your muscles or your tendons or your ligaments or in your brain or wherever the heck it is. That's the one that's going to take you out. And for a while there, I was getting Synvisc or Orthovisc. It's a synthetic kind of a synovial type fluid, along with PRP, which is where they take your blood out and they spin it. I was getting both of those injected in both of my knees about every year to every 15 months. And then when I got sick, when I got Ramsay-Hunt syndrome in 2017, I had all the blood work done. And a lot of my problems was I had some autoimmune issues and some digestive issues, whatever. And so I had to get off of all kinds, wheat, soy, corn, dairy, gone. And they're still mostly gone. No fish, no meat, no chicken. Like I was kind of a plant-based guy that would have animal products.
Okay.
They all had to go too. I mean, according to the blood work, those things, sesame seeds, cashews, white rice, that, like all these monikers, I think they're called. So it would kind of go from bright red to green and all the colors of the rainbow, and anything that was red or orange or even yellow, out, right? So it was a lot of fresh fruit. It was pure vegan, which I was kind of used to eating about 80% of the time. All the inflammation went down. My digestive system improved. I didn't need to get, expensive injections in my knees anymore. And I haven't had any knee issues since, and that was 2017.
Yeah.
People don't understand that if you're eating food, this is the other one, right? The unpredictable thing that takes us out, brings those cortisol levels up and F's with our adrenal glands. So I do my breath work. I eat mostly vegan. I don't have any joint pain anymore.
Yeah. If you can identify the foods that are going to get inflammation, and you will live a better life.
Yeah. So for me, like, don't eat cake, fine. Don't drink alcohol, fine. I can't have white rice, fine. You know what I mean? Is that going to improve my life, and improve the quality of my life as I get older? Fine. A lot of other people, you're taking all my fun away, all my happiness away, all my pleasure away. The only thing that I think about from day to day is this fat, sugar, salt, and chemicals that have been piling into my face for decades.
Yeah.
I want to ski fast and hard from the top of Jackson Hole to the bottom. That's more important to me than a freaking cookie,
There's a lot of trends. We are in trend central right now when it comes to fitness, when it comes to nutrition. You've already mentioned the semaglutides, the GLP-1s, the Ozempics. I mean, it is body hack time. But what's been your observation with the work that you do in fitness and nutrition as it relates to mental health? Because mental health, from where I'm sitting, has never been a bigger problem. It's expanded deeper into younger age children who make less movement, who have less healthy habits, including social media and screens and all that. And then now males into their 20s, males into their 30s that don't feel like they understand who they're supposed to be anymore. I mean, it seems to me that the biggest epidemic that we have in our country is mental health. Has that crept into your work as it relates to fitness and nutrition?
Absolutely. If you look at the early days, we were lifting weights and we were doing body weight stuff. And, the only way that I was really delivering any sort of a mindfulness practice was through the yoga. And most people skipped it like you. All right. So there was this beautiful thing that worked on strength. It worked on flexibility. It worked on balance and allowed you to be in the moment and really stimulate your brain in such a way so that you could deal with, everything going on in your life. And people just blew it off. That's why in the Power of Four, mindfulness is one of the 4 pillars. I mean, there's diet, there's exercise, there's supplementation. And then the 4th one is mindfulness. So there's actual routines in that program where we sit or lay down and we just breathe. And we meditate, we do body scan meditation, we do breath work, and we do it even before and after the workouts. And, if anybody's read John Rady's book, there it is, Getting It. I read that book, changed everything for me.
Spark?
Let's see. Spark. Have you seen this book? Have you ever read this book?
I have not.
Oh my God, Jeff, run, don't walk. John Rady, R-A-T-E-Y, The Revolutionary New Science of Exercise and the Brain. So here's the beautiful thing every time we exercise, and people don't realize this because a lot of times people are doing it for all the wrong reasons, right? They're doing it for aesthetic reasons. I mean, they're doing it for health reasons as well. I don't want to say that's not part of it, but it's really, there's all this ego-based fitness, bodybuilders and fitness models, they're doing that because there's a certain physique they're trying to achieve. Are they doing it in a healthy way? Are they doing steroids and HGH and testosterone? I mean, I haven't done any of that stuff yet. I'm never going to do steroids, but HGH is interesting, and extra testosterone is interesting, but I'm just going to eat more protein, you know what I mean? And train hard and get outside of my comfort zone. That seems to be working so far. But the cool thing about what Spark talks about, and this is in direct line with your question, and this usually kicks in about minute 10, 15, 20, whatever it is, whenever you're doing. I mean, cardio is great because it just starts to activate sooner than, say, maybe a HIIT training workout or weightlifting workout. I mean, a weightlifting workout where there's not big pauses in between each set, where you're kind of like bang, you knock it out, 30 to 45 seconds go, you go to the next one. This is what happens. So you release norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, aka BDNF. And that's all inside the temporal lobe. It's all inside your hippocampus. Temporal lobe, hippocampus, dentate gyrus. Deet. And so what happens when you're releasing those chemicals through breathing? Oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. Oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. That's why deep breath work, I get more out of breath work than I do meditation. Because breath work, like I'll do a 4-7-8. I'll inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 7, exhale 1, 2, all the way to 8. I repeat those. My box breathing is either 4x4, 5x5, maybe as high as 10x10. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold 7, exhale 7. And that's what's happening. Oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. And so the norepinephrine, the dopamine, the serotonin, and the BDNF is a miracle grow for the brain. And you ask anybody, and who else? The other doctor who did a book on this, he's on CNN, Chopra, Sanjay Gupta wrote another book about it.
Sanjay Gupta.
And there's so much science behind, and everybody's cheating. They're all doing this. They're all doing the excess sugar, and they're doing the carbs, and they're drinking, and they're smoking, and they're taking drugs. And so what happens is if that's your way of kind of getting that feeling halfway decent, there's going to be a really horrible outcome at the end. You know what I mean? Drug abuse, alcoholism, lung cancer. And, that's why a 10-minute sun salutation first thing in the morning will rewire you and help you deal with your life and with your problems and with your issues and increase productivity and creativity and relationships and wanting to connect, as opposed to want to just sort of like shut the door and sit on the couch and watch I Love Lucy reruns. You know what I mean? So exercise is a physical, obviously, behavior that affects your mental and emotional state. Every single time you do something, if you want to be stronger, you want to be more flexible, you want to, be more athletic, that takes weeks and months and years. But one workout, first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you're a different person. You're a different person right away.
Right.
Like you're in Shavasana after an hour and a half yoga session. I mean, every single time I feel so present, we're so in the past, we're so in the future, and we're not really in the moment enough. And exercise, you're in the middle of bench pressing. It's not like, oh, what are my taxes all about right now? You're doing something that is changing you physically, mentally, and emotionally in that moment. And that's why it's so awesome. And too many Americans are you don't get any of that by sticking a needle in your thigh so that you can be smaller later. Like, you don't get that at all, which is the whole purpose. Right? I mean, eating right is medicine, or it's poison. It's going to kill you and give you type 2 diabetes and stroke and heart attack and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and dementia, right? And all that garbage going in your life. Or you make healthy choices, right? So that's going to help your productivity. But what exercise does, it affects your mental and emotional state, also improves the quality of your life going forward so that you can go do things. Oh, I got 2 suitcases and the escalator's out. Holy crap, there's 2 of them. Panic. Me, I never take an escalator. I go up the center set. People are waiting in line on either side, and I go 2 at a time with a freaking bag in my hand. And I love that because I can feel the oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. When I'm at the top of the stairs, I'm a better man for it, as opposed to standing on a thing that takes me to the top. Losers. Okay, I'm done.
How consistent are you with your morning routine, and how disciplined is it?
My morning routine changes day to day. It's not the same every time.
Okay.
It depends on whether I'm working out in the morning or I'm working out in the afternoon. Like my routine today, because I'm working out at 5:30 doing plyo, is an intermittent fasting bit. So it's now 11:51. I have not eaten yet. There's nothing gone in my body right now. And so, because I stopped eating around 8 o'clock last night. So that's what intermittent fasting is. Long periods.
Do you drink coffee?
Do not drink coffee.
Okay. Mushroom tea?
No. Occasionally, like if it's there, I go, I'll try that. I'll do that. Right. I'll do like a low caffeine pre-workout form.
Okay.
something. But like right now, I had some water, and I had my Armor thyroid tablet and a 12-ounce glass of water that took me like 10 minutes to drink. And then at noon, I'll probably have a shake, or I'll have an arugula salad or something. So and so that is. But tomorrow is chest and back. It's pull-ups and push-ups and lat pulls and bench pressing. So I'll have like a little mini shake beforehand, just for a little giddy up. And sometimes I'll just take a piece of multi-grain Ezekiel bread, one piece, stick it in the toaster, and throw some almond butter on it, fold it in half, and I'll eat that. And then half an hour later, I'll work out. But it really changes. I don't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I eat when I'm hungry. I'm 164 pounds right now. I am a toothpick, man.
Yeah, you're going to live forever, dude.
But I mean, like 12 pack and striated. I have 11.3% body fat, which is kind of ideal for me right now. So, I mean, I've got this group on Facebook called Goo Fighters, and everybody's like, I go, by the way, I don't want to hear what you weigh. I don't care what you...
Goo Fighters? GOO Fighters?
That's correct.
Is Dave Grohl in there?
No, I don't know.
From the Foo Fighters?
The Foo Fighters are part of the Goo Fighters? No.
Yeah.
Didn't invite Dave, but I should.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I care about your visceral fat and your subcutaneous fat. So everybody's buying, I told everybody, I gave them a big discount on these Hume scales that are pretty damn accurate when it comes to body fat and body composition and water weight, muscle weight, and all that kind of stuff, and bone density. It's a pretty accurate thing. And so I have to keep reminding people, I don't care if you lost 5 pounds. What is your subcutaneous and visceral fat numbers? It also gives you metabolic age. So for me, based on everything I do, I mean, how accurate is that? I don't know. I'm pretty close, I think. I'm 67. My metabolic age is a extremely fit 50-year-old, right? A lot of people are getting this scale. They're 67 and their metabolic age is 72. Like, yeah, but I lost 3 pounds. But your metabolic age is still older than you are. So you better start thinking differently. And that's what the whole group is. It's about rewiring people about priorities and what's important here. So that you can, because the stuff that you don't see is either going to kill you or allow you to live a long.
I've heard you talk about being proud that you made money helping people, and through your career, whether it be through fitness, you've been impact. You've done well by doing good, by helping people be healthier, be happier. Talk a little bit about impact, how you think about it. And I know you do a bunch of work with the military as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been to 63 military bases around the world, from Kosovo to South Korea. I have more challenge coins than anybody on earth. Look at this, dude. Can you see them? Wait a minute, wait.
Challenge coins? Oh, yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
There you go, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I feel obligated to do that because, I work with the DOD, the Department of Defense. It's all acronyms over there in DC, and the Pentagon. And the Pentagon has a division like the USO called Armed Forces Entertainment, the AFB. And so they would send me on a tour, domestic tour around the United States, or they'd send me to just sort of Germany. Or they'd send me been to Japan twice with them, and been to South Korea, been all over Europe. I was supposed to go to the Middle East, but my wife wouldn't let me. But yeah, so that's been a real honor and a real privilege to kind of work with, because there's a lot of PTSD, you know what I mean? A lot of CTE with concussion stuff, and knowing what physical fitness does to the brain and how to kind of get you kind of straightened out again. And then just, it's bizarre that this many years later, I keep running into people and I hear the most amazing stories in the world. Yeah. There's a guy that I might be working with. His name is Ron Campbell. He owns a big company called U Creative. And, he lost 75 pounds doing P90X. And so he was pretty fired up to meet me, and we might be able to work together because, he watched me at 3 o'clock in the morning on an infomercial and ended up doing the thing and losing 75 pounds. We might work together. Like, what? I was on some message boards on Facebook, and I connected with a kid out of Boston who was on day 83 of P90X, and he came to my house and worked out with me. And he was with a buddy, and they were drinking beers, and his buddy was like, "Man, you look really buff," and they were effing around, and he fell off the building. He fell off the 3-story building into an alley where he landed on one of those large metal trash bins. He broke almost every bone. He landed kind of head, face, shoulder, rib cage. He broke every bone in his body except for the bones in his legs. was declared dead 3 times, like, I don't know how many, 30, 35 surgeries. And the doc said, if you weren't as muscular as you were, there's no way you would have survived that. He goes, what do you, he goes, I'm doing, he goes, that P90X thing, young man, saved your life. I mean, he almost died, like, the priest came in and
Yeah.
but his heart kept pumping, man, kept pumping blood to his brain and survived. And those are 2 stories. And there are, I mean, I went to a film and there's a guy there next to me, and he turns to me and he goes, hey man, we're just watching this ski movie in Jackson Hole. He goes, you saved my marriage. Meet my new wife, whatever. We did P90X together and got really, and now we have kids and everything's terrific. Like, it's weird, you know what I mean? So it's a cool job to have.
Yeah.
And I've had all the other jobs. I had the Chippendales dancing thing on a go-go box.
That probably didn't change a lot of lives.
Nope. But man, that was fun, dude. That was a fun gig. So. With my dolphin shorts on, my Capizio dance shoes, my tiger socks, my cutoff tank top. It was.
You're safe. It was before cell phones.
Yes. No. Thank God. Oh my God. Somebody found
pictures. Wait, no. Are there pictures?
No. But somebody found a movie that I was in. I'm not going to tell you the name of the movie. It was like a Red Shoe Diary movie. I don't know if you know what those were. They were on like Showtime at 2 a.m, and I played a cop. Played a cop, and it was soft porn,
Soft, yeah,
soft,
very soft.
More boobies, that's all.
Yeah,
but just horrible. But it was a gig, and I was like, I got paid, and it fed me for a week.
I think Chips was racier, with Ponch and John,
probably. Depended on what I was doing, pretty much.
Well, so you're 67. You've got some new projects going on. What kind of stuff are you working on right now?
Oh, the list is so long. Well, the one that we're most excited about because it's sort of started is my new supplement line called My Power. And we've released our first product, which is a greens formula, morning greens formula. We're really proud of. It kind of smokes everybody else's. I mean, a lot of people know about AG1. Right. It's AG1 times 10. It really is kind of amazing. Yeah, it really is. It's got a lot more going on, and it's a first thing in the morning thing, and that's called Power Up. First thing in the morning, Power Up.
Okay, I'm a big AG1 guy. I will definitely try. This is available now?
It's in pre-order now, which means you'll get it in about 2 or 3 weeks. It is literally in the factory. Labels going on jars, the mixtures going in. Whoever you contacted with me, because I don't have I'd have to give you a link, and I don't know how to do that here.
Right.
But it's called Power, and it's special, man. It's really amazing and incredible. And I just sent out a general email to about 100 of my friends, and almost all of them bought it. So a couple of them didn't. So we're going to have to, they're dead to me, these people.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you have 100 and you only need 90.
I got more than that. That's only the first email. So there's that going on. And of course, I've written my 4th book. It's called Vitality 50 Plus, and that's all done, ready to go. We might self-publish. I think we're going to get a publisher, because what we're trying to do is, and I mentioned it earlier, we want to attach that brand new workout program that will go with the book. Because, you might as well read about the importance of getting fitter as you get older, and also have a program that gets you there while you're reading the book, whatever. So that's where, we're talking to different people, producers, and Beachbody's already said, we're in, we'll make it, but I want to shop that one around. Also, brand new YouTube channel is kicking in. I hired this really amazing team. We're going to do some really fun, silly, creative stuff. That's kind of exciting. And then, of course, Ron Campbell, he and I are chatting, doing something with him. God, I can't keep track of it all. And there's a couple others, too.
All right. Is the PowerNationFitness.org, is that a thing?
Oh, how did I forget that one? Power Nation Fitness is the platform that my wife and I created when I left Beachbody. Okay. And that is the thing, PowerNationFitness.org. We have 9 trainers, including me. The premier program there is the Power of 4, which is mine. But we've got Tasha Danvers, 2-time Olympian. We've got Brian Palatucci, Scott Morgan, Ashley Cabanillas, which has got a dance program, which is really, really amazing. There's something for everybody on there. And it's all, there's literally a 300-page diet piece that goes with that. Not just for vegans, not for paleo, not for carnivores, not for pescatarians, not for flex. It's just like, hey, here, where are you? What category do you fall into? Here's how we recommend that you should eat so you can have less inflammation and live longer. And so, yeah.
You've mentioned your wife a couple of times. I do have a question for you. You live between Cali and Jackson Hole, but you've mentioned that you would like to buy her a ranch. What kind of ranch are we talking about?
Oh my gosh.
Are we having animals? Are these animals? What is this, just wide open spaces?
Not a farm, but a ranch.
Not a farm.
Not a farm. Yeah. I mean, we might have chickens. What the heck? You know what I mean? We might have some goats. We might throw a llama in there or something. I don't know. Yeah. But this is a horse ranch. This is a
horses.
My wife rides Western. She's very good, very good at it. And she disappears on Saturdays and Sundays and goes off kind of far from where we live here. It's a long, it's a hike because LA is, there's also places here on the west side where we live, but there's not much room to do anything. And it's so expensive where we are to be able to, keep the horses. So that would be it, man. I'm talking 10, 100 acres, somewhere in there, with a view of the Grand Tetons, with a river running through it and a little pond. So I want to ice skate in the pond while my wife is galloping through the snow in a field on a horse. That would be, and we're getting there. We really think that the YouTube channel is going to go. This new program for a fitness program, we want it to be as big or bigger than P90X because it's an untapped demographic. We've got some interesting celebrities that want to be attached to it. I don't know if you know who Nomar Garciaparra is. He's all set up to be in the yoga one. Trying to get my friend Leanne Morgan on it, who's a comedian that's a couple of Netflix specials. Christopher Titus, So, and we want to do 9 workouts for this thing and 4 cast members behind me, like make it a party. And, we saw, like you mentioned with P90X, you got a beginner, you got somebody intermediate, you got somebody kicking ass. I really want to create another step between, so that way we can say, hey, look, maybe you're here. And then some really fun workouts. Animal flow's got to be in there. A bounding routine. The working title on one of the routines is balance and bound, or balance and bounce. I haven't decided yet. Just getting people off the ground, not plyometrically, like jumping high on boxes or something. But older folks, they don't jump anymore, right? Their balance sucks. So let's create one workout, kind of like we did with core synergistics, kind of very specific, work on the things where people over 50 are just bad at, and show 4 different progressions. And no one's doing that. Like, to me, it's like, where is that? So I'm excited about that. And if all this stuff works, maybe we can buy a ranch for my wife.
And a couple more horses.
Yeah. Yeah. And I ride. We rode in Jackson Hole. I was holding out of the horn, clutching, like, with white knuckling that thing, and scared to death, but anything to make my wife happy, man. So. Yeah.
All right. Fitness fads. Last 50 years. I need a thumbs up or a thumbs down on these. You ready?
Here we go. And by the way, I want to say, Jeff, here's the caveat. One size does not fit all. Like, you're going to ask me something and go, well, 5% might think that has some value, and it might. You know what I mean? Other 95 think it's crap. But
here we go. You ready?
Okay, go.
Thigh Master.
Better than smoking a pack of cigarettes, but it's, it's like, it's one thing. By the way, do you know who was in the Thigh Master commercial?
Suzanne Summers.
Me.
Oh, you. Oh, okay.
I was in it. There was a scene where you saw a guy kind of using it as a way to do bicep curls.
Are you kidding me?
Google it. You'll see it. I'm with my friend Donna Lane, and Donna Lane is doing this with it. Like, and we're looking at each other like we're about to do it. So like, she's like here, and I'm looking at her here. Yeah, it's like a 3-second thing, but yeah, Tony Horton Thigh Master. Google it, you'll see it.
You were ever up? Jen found it. All right, 6 million sold, by the way. Okay, number 2. Number 2? The ab roller. $1 billion in ab rollers sold.
Look, I'm a long-term health and wellness guy. So it's a thing that did a spot trained a body part, and no, dude, no.
No, thumbs down. Okay.
Thigh Masters, no, and that's we're 0 for 2.
All right.
Based on what I think is important, right?
The abdominizer.
Oh, the ridiculizer. I mean, jeez.
You remember that? You sat on it.
Yeah, they put fitness models on it. Like, there's no way anybody who ever did that got abs without eating right, doing cardio, doing HIIT training, martial art. There's 50 other things that you had to do. That could be like a piece, but that's another row. We're 0 for 3.
Yeah, that infomercial, it sold hope. All right. And here's one. And I saw one of these in my grandparents' basement, the vibrating belt machine.
Oh, God. I'm going to tell you a story, man, quickly. I used to train Stephen Stills. Stephen was a great guy, great storyteller, all time, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And one time I would show up to Stephen's house and be a new gimmick in the house. And I will show up and there's a briefcase. He opens up the briefcase and it's got all these knobs in it. And there's all these wires, these little sticky things. So now I am shaving Stephen Stills' chest and abs and putting these things and attaching electrodes on it, turning the knob. And I'm just, here's the work. And here's Stephen. And I go, hey, coach. He called me coach. I don't think he knew my name the first time. He would just, that'll be in the book.
Well, they have those vests now that they just shock you all the time.
Yeah.
The Chuck Norris Total Gym.
You know what? We're moving into a piece of equipment that actually does something.
Okay, we're
actually
this way
does.
now.
What's
Sideways?
that? Well, no, I mean,
thumb?
I would say up.
Okay.
For a lot of people, but for other people, it's a resistance machine. It's a pure body weight using the machine based on the angles and stuff. And they sold a crap load of them. But the thing is, a piece of equipment, everything you've named, how does that motivate and inspire you to continue to use it? It just sits there, and hopefully you've blocked out days in the week, in the month, in the year to get on that thing, right? And use that thing. So not terrible.
For a long
time. It's not my cup of tea, but yeah,
Yeah.
A lot of people use it. A lot of.
We got a combo here: Zumba and Jazzercise.
It's a particular type of fitness where you're physically moving. Oxygen is coming in, the carbon dioxide is going out. You're burning calories. You're working your heart, lungs, and your legs. These are heart, lungs, legs routines. I mean, forget about doing a pull-up or a push-up. You know what I mean? Or being able to run half a mile. Right? They do help reduce, but it's a little bit too myopic for me. But for a lot of people, that's their groove, man. That's what gets them going. That they love it. They love the music. They love the movement. They love the dance. There's coordination. There's a certain amount of athleticism to it. So I don't want to poo-poo it all together.
No, it's movement. People are moving. If you
People
like to
are
dance.
moving. If you're moving, man.
Yeah. I mean, I throw kind of Tae-Bo right in with that. All right, here's one.
Yeah.
See if you can name it. 3 fitness models, women, on a rotating disc on television doing aerobics. The 20-minute workout.
So they're standing on a thing and going around.
Do you remember the 20-minute workout? This was probably a little after your time. They would be on a disc and they would be rotating around and they would be doing aerobics for 20 minutes.
Running around a disc. You're running around.
No, they weren't running. They were stationary and the disc was rotating on a stage. And they were doing, and I watched it every morning my freshman year in high school. I didn't do the workout, but I did watch it every morning because it was on PBS. All right. So if you don't know that one, you can't.
Don't know that one.
Can't be. Now, but they should have sold this one with the 20-minute workout, which was the last one, thumbs up, thumbs down, shake weight.
Oh my God, dude. Jeez Louise. Also, they had the bar. Remember the bar? Big, long bar?
Shake bar.
Shake bar. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's a whole lot of companies out there that try to, reinvent something and they're a flash in the pan and they come and they go. Are the shake weights still on the air? Is the bar still on the air? No, they're all gone. But P90X, it's 20 years old, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry and Mary comes up to me and says, I still do it, So, yeah.
Well, you can't argue with those results. Well, hey, Tony, this has been great. I'm gonna tug on the reins of that Western horse right now and head this towards the barn here in Jackson Hole. But I've got a curveball for you and then a fastball straight down the middle to end the show.
Okay.
But before we do that, tell people how to find you and how to connect with you.
Let's see. At Tony_Horton on Twitter, if you want to find me there. Instagram is at Tony S. Horton. I'm looking at my cheat sheet over here. And then in general, if you just want to know anything and everything, go to TonyHortonLife.com. That's TonyHortonLife.com. And actually, there's going to be if you're a skier or a snowboarder, come in Jackson Hole and hang out with me and Ted McDonald. That will be the last weekend of January. And so, yeah, anything and everything we do there. Also to mypowerlife.org. No, that's not right. Oh my God, this is horrible. What's the other one? Senior moment. I'm lost. I'm gone.
Power Nation Fitness.
Power Nation Fitness. Dude, I got so many orgs and comms and dots and I can't, but powernationfitness.org. You can also go to powernationfitness.org. They both work. And that's where you access everything else.
All right.
And then I wish I had a direct way to get to the supplements, but it's, we're still in the pre-full development stages.
Okay.
You reach out to Mary, whoever reached out to you, and we'll get you some. And then you can put it in the notes below if you want to.
Yeah, 100%. We'll absolutely do it. All right. Here's the curveball.
Okay.
Double shake weights to your head. Gun to your neck. That's a big risk.
It's dangerous.
Double shake weights to your head. You have to create a business in the next 30 days. But it can't be something you're currently doing. Where do you see the market opportunity in the world right now?
Well, it's funny that you say that because there's a product, not a shake weight, not a Thigh Master, that I really, really have wanted to make for a long time. But I think it's so genius and it's so good that I don't want to tell you what it is. But I can tell you what I think I need to do because I was thinking about this in the shower before I got on this Zoom call with you.
Thanks for showering. I
need to talk to a manufacturer, and I know one, just to say, make me a prototype for this thing. Mm-hmm. Because it is the type of thing that will help the average person over the age of 50 do a series of particular exercises that they cannot do without it. Well, maybe some can that are fit and, don't have a lot of weight to lose or whatever. But this will be a way to assist people to feel like they can truly do cool moves that maybe they could have done when they were a kid or could never do when they were a kid. And so it's up to me between now and 30 days from now is to get a hold of the right person to make that first prototype. And I had a prototype that I made on my own years ago, but after about 5 months, it broke. And I haven't made another one since. And it was really clunky and didn't have the, you need like injector sprue kind of plastic development stuff for this thing, whatever it is.
Got it. Well,
so yeah, that's funny that you're bringing that up because I was thinking about it today, and it would be a key. It would be probably used in almost half of the workouts for this new program that I'm creating because my vision is 9 workouts. P90X had 12. The Power 4 has 25. I don't want to overwhelm people, but 9's kind of the sweet spot, and we'd end up using this thing in at least 4 or 5. So.
Well, if you need a great IP patent attorney, let me know. I've got a great one for you.
I do. I have that because I invented something called power stands. You can't rip that one off because that's trademarked. And I don't know if you know what power stands are. You go to TonyHortonLife.com. You can pick a pair up. There's a wide base. There's a sticky bottom. The handles are thick and wide and padded, and they're tilted downward to protect your wrist. Just something that they're all metal and thin and hurt your hand, and they suck. And and so I got all those people, so I just
awesome.
Have to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Fastball straight down the middle.
Oh God.
If you had one sentence to make an impact in somebody's life, what would that be?
The more you do, the better you get. Or do your best and forget the rest. I took 2. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay to be bad. I mean, I always say it's okay to be terrible at something. That means there's a learning curve and you're going to get better. But the more you do, the better you get. And that's what I've learned in my life as I've gotten older. I would quit the first or second time. I started playing hoop again in a league, and I mean, I'm horrible all of a sudden. They're all half my age running up down the court. And after the first week, I got knocked over. I got all black and blue. Some guy fouled the crap. I'm like, why am I doing this? I was there again the following week, and I'll be there next week too. So show up, see what happens. There's another one. Show up and see what happens, but always show up, man. That's everything. And I think there's less of that. Not one sentence, is it, Jeff? As we get older, we go from possibility to, and it's too bad.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I think, look, at our age, and Dan Sullivan, who's the founder strategic coach, said that he's 80, and he said he's going to be twice as ambitious at 90 as he is at 80. And it's our job to every year be more ambitious than the previous one, because that's what builds capabilities and that's what creates a great life.
But, that's great. And I want to finish with this. No one understands the difference between the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. Because if you're burning the candle at both ends and you're still continuing to age, which you are, because everybody is, that means you're not getting enough mindfulness time, enough rest and recovery time, enough chill time, enough joy, happiness, and laughter time. If it's just go, 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 then something's going to got. It's okay to push the envelope often, but I have a rest and recovery list. Pet the dog, play music, get out in the garden, read, nap, get in the infrared sauna, foam roll, get a massage, all the other stuff that's part of the healing piece. Most people, the only thing they have is they train hard, they hopefully eat right, and they get a shitty night's sleep. That sleep is your number one mindfulness practice, recovery practice, but most people don't get a good one.
You just hit my entire list other than get out in the garden. But I do pet the dog, infrared sauna, all of that, man. Like that, you just went right down my list.
You have a cold plunge? Are you a cold plunge guy? Me neither. I had 2. And they turned into breeding grounds for mosquitoes. So because they were outside. I have a pool that's cold in the winter. Yeah. I have a pool that's cold all the time. It's just, I got on the other day. I was like, dang, I can't believe it. On a sunny day, it was 70 degrees. It was cold. The pool's enough. And I get in my bathtub I just put cold water in a bathtub. It just seems easier to me. So anyway, good. Yeah. It's letting the pendulum swing the other way.
Yeah.
So.
Tony, thanks for being on. I really enjoyed talking to you today.
Pleasure, man. Good questions. I like it. Not the atypical ones. I like to answer those too. So,
we just
fastball, the curveball. I'm surprised I didn't get a slider, but fine. I'll go without.
Gotta save something for next time. Sliders are unhealthy.
That's for Otani.
Yes.
Not the rest.
All right.
Pleasure, Jeff. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks, Tony, for being on. I'm Jeff Dudan. We've been here with Tony Horton, and we have been on the Unemployable podcast. Thanks for listening.